Hey everybody, what's up from Roll, Minnesota, your state of skate. Hey, I'm Butch Lehman, and today we're in for another episode of Rolling Reactions. Alright, so for today's episode, I wanted to take you back in time to the days of the Razor skate videos, specifically Icons and Game Theory, and this is one of my favorite eras of rollerblading. However, there was a skater in those videos that was relatively unknown to me, and perhaps to others, and his name was Stefan Horngacher. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing his name right. I know he went by Horn. He even released his own pro skate through Razors, one of the SL boots, and it was absolutely glorious. Anyway, this dude is an absolute wrecking ball when it comes to stunts and massive gaps on inline skates, and he skates with speed, passion, and intensity, and that's what we need to look at today. It's worth highlighting, so today I invite you to join me for watching some of Horn's skating in the Razors videos. Let's check it out. Alright, we'll get the stunt reel started with the Razors Icons video, and this is a very nostalgic time in skating for me. For me, I look back on this as the glory days. Razors had an absolutely formidable lineup at this time, and they were still producing content regularly through the Razors podcast. I don't know about the rest of you, but that's something that I had regularly downloaded video content from, and it felt like every week or so you could expect to see some new Razors edit or interview or park situation. Here we already have a little bit of foreshadowing to the level of stunts that are going to unfold in this video. But as you can see, Stefan is from Austria, and he's not afraid to go big, starting out with this massive double kink rail with a kind grind on it. Pick up a lot of speed on a trick like that. Speaking of which, he's using a vert ramp to get the speed on this one, grinding up the kink, and then, like, I don't know, was that a bio 540 off? Pretty wild. Also, sweat stance over a kink rail like that. That trick is already dangerous, let alone putting a bunch of changes and momentum to it. For this one, we get a line, starting out with the X grind, then curving around. And once more, why not another kink rail? That's kind of the theme of this video, is go big or go home. This time, skipping the kink part, but we will get a nice fakey 540 with a grab in it over that little stair set. And this to me is wild. I can't imagine how much speed it would take to do this gap up and still have enough speed to hit the piece of loose plywood and hit that 540 Luke hang. Man, this is the type of skating that personally I find really exciting, and you'll see that some of the obstacles and some of the scenery that's utilized later on is very unconventional. We'll just put it that way. Really cool switch up there, that 270 back Royale to Sweaty. Kind of a dangerous one to get your feet locked into, but anytime you can pull that around, it's a good looking trick. He's got his own cheering section. They made signs and posters. You gotta love it. Kind of reminds me of like the Bitter Cold Showdowns. There's always groups of people out there supporting in the audience, and I know there was a recent story that was covered on those guys, how they would dress up as a different skater each year and have like their own fan base. If you guys know anything about that, if any of you are watching this channel and you are one of those people that dress up, props to you. You deserve all the respect and recognition for that, because anytime you can build up other people in this industry, that's something that's worth acknowledging. Using the electrical box, coming out 360 on that one. Grinding up, across, and down on the vert ramp. The mini ramp. Like, what? I don't think any other person in the world would look at that and say, that's how that ramp should be skated. It's wild. And that fall, I bet, was awful. We're going up with the soul grind, 360 out. Pretty classic trick choice there. I'm not sure what that was. I'd need to watch that again. I was a little bit distracted, but he just grinded the front of a truck. And was that a backslide? Not entirely sure. And now we're grinding up the kink rail. Going down it isn't scary enough. Let's just pick up all the speed in the world and grind up the thing. Massive disaster Royale. Like I said, it's stunts all day. I absolutely love this kind of skating. All right, next we'll switch over to Game Theory, and this is the video that really solidified itself on me. It's one of my favorite videos, and if you think about it, I think this is one of the more iconic videos from inline skating history as well. And we're starting this off with a bang, going up the most crazy looking P-rail of death with a mute grab backflip out of a soul grind. That's absolutely wild. This is like some type of section you'd expect to be produced by Red Bull, but it has all of the highlights and plenty of stunts. Going in-spin topsoul on this massive kink rail and then transfer over to the other side. We might as well make every trick an absolute hammer. That's what you can expect out of Horn in his sections. And as I was thinking about it, I was like, who would I compare his skating to? And I think I'd do a combination of Ilya Savasin today with the creativity, kind of the outrageous personality, the unique aspect and approach to skating, but then also with Pat Lennon's speed and intensity from back then. So it's kind of a mix of old and new. You put those together, and in my mind, you get Horn. You get this. This is the type of skating that I think is reminiscent of those two, just hybridized. We'll wax up this rail because we're going over the river, and you don't want to fall in there. So I guess that's one way that you can extra commit is when you know that you have to land it. Otherwise, you're going down into the drink. That shot had a mascot in the foreground that was clapping. I'm sure there's some sort of backstory behind that, and I'm really curious, like, what was happening with that gap. This is what I'm talking about. This is the type of stuff that I'd expect to see out of Ilya Savasin, and I love his stuff. I'm hopeful that he can make a full career out of inline skating and the social media aspect because he is so good. Like, Ilya's completely underrated. He's been absolutely crushing it lately. This time we'll go top acid to regular acid, carve around, and keeping the symmetry with alley-oop top acid. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but when doing lines, that's something that I really like is keeping symmetry with the tricks. I don't know. It's just part of my, my personality, my sensibilities. Nice flat spin coming out of the bowl on that one. Flat spin is one of those tricks that looks really good, and especially if you can incorporate it into street obstacles. Soul grind to top soul, and then utilize the ledge. And of course, we got a bench at the bottom, so you might as well use it. That time we got the zero fish, which is a pretty difficult trick to do on a ledge. A lot of speed with that gap. Look at this. In every clip when he's out in public like this, you just have a massive crowd of onlookers, people that just can't help but be attracted to watching these massive stunts unfold. And I think that's good for the sport. Check this out. We've converted like a dirt track into a makeshift plywood ramp. He even gets the 180 with the mute grab out of that. Like, that was really smooth. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Rolling Reactions, featuring horn sections in both the Razor's Icons video, as well as in Game Theory. And these are two of my favorite videos. And upon reflection, I think his sections and the unique elements of stunts and high speed and intensity that they bring added some much-needed diversity to the videos and made them all the more rewatchable because of it. You guys will have to let me know what you think down in the comments below. Maybe you're more into the traditional type of skating, or this power stunt type of skating, or even some of the more technically nuanced skating that we see more prominently today. Personally, I think that's what makes our community so amazing, is that you have all these different preferences and all these different styles commingling in the same space, and there's something to appreciate about all of them. Anyway, guys, I'm Butch Lehman of Roll, Minnesota, reminding you all to stay safe, stay healthy, and get out there and do some rollerblading. We'll see y'all with the next video. Till then, everybody, peace.